Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be playing RivenWorld, and I'm going to be going over what I call the assets. And what I mean by assets, they're the items that you can use to build in this game. And I want you to look at the screen in front of me. Everything you see here, I was able to build using the items they allow you to make in the game currently. So this is after beta round 2. This is what you can build. And if I hit the tab command, you'll see that I have objects that I have created in my inventory. Let's go down to the bench. My bench is down here. So in the game currently, now I know there's a few things that I'd like to see, but I'm not going to pose those items yet to the developers, only because I think I'd rather them get the core game done, and then we can talk about adding to these assets. This is what I call assets. Anything that you can create in the game is an asset to you, or an asset, an individual item that's droppable, usable in the game. And here on this bench is where you can make the wooden items, from the block to the half block to the corner to the battlements to the stairs to the wooden the ramp, and then you've got thatch blocks that you can make. So all of these items you can make at this bench as long as you've got the core material, either thatch or wood. This bench allows you to make the stone variants of it. So these are the stone blocks in the exact same assets, exact same blocks that you can make in stone that you can make in wood. And then with those, going and gathering the stone and gathering the wood, and yes, everything I built here, I did not admin drop. Everything you see here, I actually went out and harvested the items to build this. And I built this entire structure in about 3.5 days. So, and that was just playing maybe, oh geez, I probably played under 12 hours total. So this is what one person can do. Imagine if you have a team of people working together and trying to build your base. Now, yeah, I mean, if you look at my base, this is kind of a cliff village is what I was going for, is a village that, it's people that lived up in the cliffs. And, this might not be practical on a PvP server, if you're going to be playing on a PvP server. But I wanted to show you, I built this because I wanted to show you what you can do in the game, what things you can build. Now, these are tables that I stacked that kind of looks like shelving. There's the bed that you can make, some more of the tables that I just tucked underneath the stairs there. And then you can build everything you see here. I was able to build using the workbench, even to the lamps. This lamp might be out. That lamp's out of fuel. I think I left it going last night. But the reason why I came down here is so that you can see the underbelly of the town I built. And there's no structure or support structuring in this game, so you can go as far out or as high as you want. They have discussed maybe having it as a server if you want to run your own server, because you can add gravity effects or structuring effects. See, this building is hovering over the ground. So it's not connected to the ground. There's no support. There's no required support structuring in the game currently. So you just build whatever your heart's content as what you want to build. So I'm just going to go back up to the town here, so I can move slowly around so you can see the different angles that you. This was my neighbor during the closed beta, the second round of closed beta. This is my neighbor. I don't know who this player was, but they started this nice building. I clear-cutted most of this last night. Right now on the server, there is no tree respawns yet, so they're working on that. So will be seeing trees respawn in the future. So when you clear-cut something, you clear cut it and it will regrow unless you dig the stump out. So if you've got a shovel, see it says you need a shovel to dig up the stump. So if you don't want trees to regrow in this game, you just dig the stumps up and then they won't regrow. But currently they're not regrowing. And I caught this, looks like I caught this at the back end of the day. So we're not going to really, okay, is this the moon coming up or is this the sun coming up? I think it's the moon. Yeah, see the moon up there behind that cloud? Over, see the castle in the background? That's where the king lives in this game. Is that the moon or is that the sun? So maybe that's just the sun behind now. It's the moon because you can see the stars. See all the stars? And the clouds are moving. So that's the moon. That's moonlight. So we're going to see a little bit of this in the moonlight. So I just am using the different assets in the game to make the buildings look different. Like here, my roof, I made it contoured. See how I contoured it so it's not squared off at the edge? It's contoured like a fish, like a fish body. And it comes back to the tail. And I did this to make it look like it's got a chimney. Here I put some patterns down so you can see that you can do some patterning. And then you can come out here. This is where my my furnace is. I can turn my furnace on. That will give a little bit of light. These crates are here. Got all my stuff in them. I've got a double bunk bed that I put down. Basically, I stacked two beds on top of each other. This is where I've been doing my my building of items. So right now you can do the stone items. And then you can upgrade to the iron items. But right now, steel's not in the game. So I have yet to test these 3 items. But I'll be able to do that when they add steel to the game. I think those are the only items that I have yet to get my hands on to test. I think I've tested it quite nicely. The building, building things. I've been really trying to test out angles, trying to test out overlaps, trying to make, like this roof I made with the stairs. Made that roof with the stairs. Where that roof down there I made with the ramps. All right, let's go down here. Here's some more stairs here that I made. I made this house. Kind of pyramid shaped. I used the stairs, I used the wooden blocks. I guess I could have gone up 2 stories on this. Maybe I'll tear it down a little bit and go up 2 stories on that. These are what the stone blocks look like. Is what I'm standing on is what the stone blocks look like. What I did is just to make it easy, I made this mostly out of the wood, cutting wood down, the trees down, making the blocks on the table. And this puts me back to where I started the video. So everything you see there is possible in the game. Now, granted, if they add a gravity effect or a support effect, then you're not going to be able to come out of as far as I did there with these landings. Unless they have a support mechanism where you can tie it back into the cliff or put pillars in that go all the way down to the ground. But this base on a PvP server just would not be practical. This would just be fluff. You would basically build something like this and then ask the PvP community to leave it alone as just ambiance to the server, just fluff, because if you don't have that agreement, I don't imagine why you'd want to build something this open and undefendable, because people just show up and just start wailing on it. Because it is a PvP game. And the reason why I built this was so that you could see your options. If I had a castle wall around this whole city, then yeah, because then I'd be able to protect it by just holding people off by putting a wall around it. Or if I put a wall here across here, they wouldn't be able to get to that section unless they walked up there and fell down into it. But I mean, I imagine you'll be able to get on a server, get on your server and tell the community, look, I'm just going to be over here in my own little corner. Please leave me alone. I just want to add some fluff to the server. I consider this a little village on the cliff. And then they might leave you alone, or they might not. They might just destroy it on you just for the sake of doing it. I see really buildings like the one that this person built here, and then building wall around it to give you the extra defense, and then maybe going straight up from here, and then that's easy protecting because you only have to protect this base building or the lower parts of the building from invaders, whereas a footprint on what I did over here would be not practical because everybody, you get a guild of 5 or 6 guys show up, they'll make quick work of just trolling you, start wailing on your little village you made, which I mean that's part of the PvPing of the game. So you just gotta understand that yes, you can build everything I'm showing you here. Just keep in mind you got to figure out a way to protect it from PvP. Now, I do know in the game how they're going to do the mechanics is during the day there's going to be a debuff on everyone, so nobody can really harm. They can harm your stuff, but it's really reduced. So they would have to come at night, and when the sun goes down, and the sun's coming up now, when the sun goes down, then full PvP gets enabled. So they only have a window of the night cycle to really wail on your stuff. And then they'll have to wait for the next, unless they want to try to do it during the day cycle. And then maybe then you can fight them off or get somebody to help fight them off. I mean, there's also going to be a mechanic where if the person is not online, their building can't be destroyed. You can't do any damage to anyone's building who's not online. So if you come on to your server and build something like this and you see grievers showing up, just log off for 15, 20 minutes, maybe they'll go away. I mean, that's the other option you've got, because they have said that they wanted it so that people would not come back to the server and have their whole castles burnt to the ground because they weren't online to defend them. So those are going to be the two balancing things for the PvP. You only can PvP at night, and if the person's not online, you won't be able to affect their structure. So this is a better look at it in the daylight. It's just a little cliff village, little town I decided to make. The first building I made was that tower. And what I was doing was testing to see if nodes would respond if you build under them. And we'll go down there. I just want you to see this top here, how I did this top. That's pretty cool, huh? So let's go down there real quick, and then I'll close the video down. So when I got on the server, there were oil nodes that spawned right here. There's 3 oil nodes that spawn right here. And I said to myself, well, I want to have control of those oil nodes. I'll get away from the water a little bit so we're not listening to the water. So I wanted to have full control of them because I wanted to have a lot of lamps going, and I wanted to really put a lot of lighting on this structure. So I wanted to basically own those 3 nodes. But what happened was I built my house on top of them, hoping that I could just go into my basement and collect them when they respawn. But as soon as I built my house here, they never respawned again. So I don't know if that is by design or if that's just a glitch, because there should be 3 oil nodes spawning. They have never spawned in, I would say, a week. Once I put this house here, they never respawned. Now, there's some oil nodes over here. I'll show you what those look like real quick. Maybe what I should have, probably what I should have done was just put a fence around them. So that's what I was thinking I'd do over here on these 2 nodes. But the server, the beta server is closed, so I don't have to worry about competing with anybody right now. I'm just helping them test. So this is the oil here. This is what it looks like, and I've got the better pickaxe. I don't have the stone pickaxe. I got the iron pickaxe, so it makes it easy to collect these. But the respawn rate on the oil is kind of slow, and I think these are the only 2 nodes that still exist that respawn. And I put this here just so I know where the node is, so I can just run over here and say, oh yeah, okay, the node's right here. But I guess I could test building a wall around those. Maybe that would be my next thing, just to test it, because I know that if you build above it, then they won't respawn at this point. So maybe if you build a fence around them, because if they make certain nodes rare, and then a guild decides to be the owner of those rare nodes, then you can build an economy around that. Well, people will trade items for the rare items that people are controlling, and if people don't want to pay for the items, then they'll attack that town or that placement to get the items themselves. So it does 2 things. It allows people to trade for the rare items because somebody's taken ownership of them, or force a conflict where the person will have to attack the base, take it over, and then take possession of those nodes. And that's what I was testing here. Can I secure the nodes for my own benefit? And then if somebody wants them, they'll have to fight me for them or ask me to trade them. And unfortunately, they just didn't respawn after I built the house there. All right, well, this is it. Last looks here of the city. Of the village here. You can see I made the walkway there. All the angles, you can do anything you want with the angles. When I put this together, I was like, I might as well just do like a showroom, like you see at a furniture store. This is what it's looked like. This is what you can do with it. It's been really enjoyable. It's kind of relaxing building in this game. It's not really complicated. It's time consuming. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be quite time consuming. I've been doing this enough that it's like second nature. I can be watching a movie on my TV, and basically that's what I was doing, watching a movie on my TV while I built this entire structure, because it was just like my hands just move naturally now because I built so much in this game. Well, that's it, folks. Those are the assets, the building assets. This is what you can possibly do in the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing other people's creations and how they defend them on a PvP environment server. I hope to see you guys in the next open beta. I don't know when that's going to be. It should be a couple weeks. I imagine maybe less time than that. I'm waiting for them to add some other elements to the server that I can test for them, like the steel. They obviously got to get critters in the world. That's my next thing that I'm hoping to see is critters, deer, bear, whatever, just so that I can test the combat with them for them. And then if they introduce weaponry and armors, I'm definitely going to have to test that, because that's me standing in one spot, letting something wail on me, and then seeing what the degrade is on the armor values. And, it's going to be a lot of testing. As soon as they implementing the core fighting aspects of the game, that's going to be some uber testing to make sure that that's working and that there's no glitches involved in that. All right, well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.